on this computer. Or I could post it afterwards because we will be going to an executive session and I end up having to do that piecing together thing, but I can hit stream. Let me find YouTube. And I do need to make you a co-host, but let me just get this stream start. Uh-oh. We changed the password.
Oh, you're right.
I sent it to you guys on Signal. Hold on, this is going to take me a minute because
I'm looking too.
I'm not sure I remember what it is.
I have the old one.
Yeah, I had the old one too. I sent it to Lainey though. Hold on, let me find.
Isn't the password Michael Heiss 1?
Shush.
Settle down. Settle down, sir.
Okay, hold on.
But we need super AI to figure out which one of those letters are capitalized.
Okay, I have it. I just need to. Does YouTube not have show pass? Oh, yeah, because of my terrible vision. Okay, let me see if I can. My God, my vision is awful. And these nonsensical secure passwords. I liked it when password could just be password. I might have to do a 2-factor as well. Hold on.
I mean, if we need to upload it later, that's fine. I try to be in the habit of getting it
I think
live
it's
streamed.
working.
Okay.
Can
Just so that other people can see and they don't think, that we're trying to like lock them out or have a secret meeting.
This user is not enabled for live streaming. This is the password I've always used. You guys changed some settings on me. Let me try again. There's several users on this account. Let me try the other user.
Better to figure it out now.
Then this weekend.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Got it.
it's
got
the
the
other
notice.
user. There's 2 users on the account. Okay. Well, that's probably good though. The volunteer account can't live stream. That's probably a good idea.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call us to order now at 9:08 p.m. Eastern Time. Madam Secretary, if and when you're ready, would you please go ahead and do a roll call for us?
Yes, one moment. And because I had that echo there for a second with the stream, what time were we called to order?
9:08 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, first I'm going to do the executive committee. So Ms. McCardle is here. Mr. Watkins, did he come or no?
No.
Okay, 1 second. I still had Smith. I need to change that to Watkins. Mr. Hagopian.
He's not present. He'll contact you in a moment.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me mark them as absent. I am here, Mr. Bowen.
I am here.
Mr. Elliott.
Here,
Mr. Nikela.
Not present.
Nikela is absent. Now we're going to go to the LNC. Mr. Blankenship.
I am here.
Mr. Rufo.
I am here. I'm
Okay,
here.
thought I saw you and I heard a beep for a second. Let me see if there's someone I need to admit. There is. Let me make you co-host right now, Madam Chair, so that you can take care of those entrances.
You got it.
Okay, we're going to go back. Mr. Benner. Mr. Benner, no. Mr. Duque. Mr. Duque.
No.
Okay. Ms. Eiler.
I am here.
Mr. Ford? No, Mr. Ford, Ms. Gabbard,
I'm here.
Mr. Nana,
I'm here.
Mr. Chinyevich.
Good evening, here.
I just need to move you up to regional. Mr. Clark. We do not have. I know Mr. Cowan is here. I spoke with him a moment ago. Mr. Dassing,
Here.
Mr. Hall. Mr. Daniel. Can't see either of them. Mr. Pankey. Okay, one moment. Ms. Yanuskavich. Here. And is there any staff present?
Our executive director, Lainey Houston.
Okay, is Mr. Brown present? I didn't see him. I didn't think so.
No.
Okay. One moment. So, Madam Chair, for the Executive Committee, we are missing Mr. Watkins, Mr. Hagopian, and Mr. Nikela. For the LNC, we are missing Mr. Benner, Mr. Duque, Mr. Ford, Mr. Clark, Mr. Hall, Mr. Daniel, and Mr. Pankey.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead and go to public comment. So here's how this works. If you'd like to give public comment, go to the bottom of your screen, find reactions. See here, and then you're going to want to do hand raise. So for me, it's the bottom of my screen, more reactions, raise hand. Raise your little hand so I can see that on the side of the screen. And that's how I know who wants to do public comment. Brian Elliott.
Was that recognizing me? I'm sorry.
Just acknowledging you're the only one with a hand up so far. So
right.
let me just see anybody else. Okay, if there's no one else, then I'm gonna go ahead and go to Mr. Elliott.
All right, I would just like to publicly commend the chair for the work that she's done to create a real anti-war movement that seems to be developing some momentum behind the event a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to call out the success of that effort and the understanding the amount of effort it took to create that. So congratulations, and let's all keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elliott. Madam Secretary.
Okay, Madam Chair, I probably am unfortunately going to put you on the spot a little bit. I know we are planning on going into executive session to discuss some legal issues. Our policy manual, it's not a bylaw, it is a policy manual, so it's suspendable, but it does require the LNC to sign an NDA. We have a small handful of members who have not. They may have signed one past term, but I don't have it on record. And I'm uncomfortable going into executive session with any LNC members that have not complied with our policy manual. I, of course, leave that up to you to make a ruling on. I'm just putting it on the record that I think everyone who goes into executive session to discuss legal matters needs to have signed an NDA.
All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stand at ease real quick. And if you know who you are and you haven't signed one, shoot me and Karen Ann an email really quick so I can get you an NDA.
Madam Secretary, I'm pretty sure I signed another one this term, but I'm honestly unsure.
Pretty sure I have one from you, Dustin.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent the chair the list of who I don't have. I don't want to name names publicly. Maybe she can message people,
Yep.
you know, in the
Working
individual
on it.
message.
Yeah, I'm in the same, excuse me, I'm in the same boat as Dustin. I'm fairly certain I signed one earlier this term, but if I haven't, I can turn one around real quick.
I'm getting it out.
And Todd said he needed his registration approved.
Okay,
So I am doing that right now.
You can do that while I do this.
Point of information.
Yes, please.
Just to let you know, Mr. Ford will be dialing in the next few minutes, so just keep an eye out for him.
Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, are these documents electronically signed or physically or?
If you have a PDF, if you have Adobe, you can assign it electronically.
I do indeed.
There you go. Okay. Carrie, you're fine.
I am sending one over to you, Mr. Tanyevich.
I also sent one.
Okay, you have the blank. Okay, I'll leave that to you, Madam Chair, then.
This is Martin Cowan. I'm not going to sign it, and so Region 2 will be unrepresented tonight if you kick me out.
Okay, why don't we chat about that offline tomorrow so I can sort that out. And when we go into executive session, I think Madam Secretary, is it in order to fill in Mr. Benner if he's already signed one and he's just not attending this meeting?
Madam Chair, I wasn't raising a point of order, so it's really up to you. I was just stating, you know, my discomfort. But I do have if the chair will indulge me, because I do appreciate Mr. Cowan's concern. It is an executive committee meeting, so there isn't technically regional representation in the executive committee. We have a custom, at least this term, to have everyone freely debate and things like that. But technically, per Roberts, the only people entitled to attend an executive committee meeting are the members of the executive committee. I would never not want that, but I'm just giving you what the Roberts rules says. So there isn't regional representation on the executive committee.
Let me also say that, you know, excluding me as a lawyer, I think is a problem. And I do have lawyer things to say, which I'd like to say in executive session, but I understand that you know, you have your ways and I must comply, I suppose.
I think it's a little weird why an attorney wouldn't want to sign an NDA. I mean, I guess, you know, arguments can be made both ways. I did not anticipate putting you or anyone else on the spot tonight, so I am very sorry for that. But
Yeah,
let's definitely.
I'm sorry. I am sorry too. I am very sorry.
But
and as a lawyer, you know, I'm covered by a higher level of secrecy than, you know, your non-enforceable NDA anyway.
Okay, well, we'll definitely sort that out after the meeting. Definitely.
Madam Chair, if I may make one comment, Mr. Cowan, this definitely isn't against you at all personally, but this is a policy manual requirement. We either have it in our policy manual or we amend our policy manual to take it out. But the LNC is expected to comply with the policy manual.
Or you can suspend the rule.
Or yes, the rule can be suspended by, I believe it's a special rule of order. I'd have to check. It's without notice, so it'd be suspendable with a 2/3.
Would that not require a vote of the entire committee though? Like the executive committee can't just suspend the entire policy manual, can they?
All right. Okay, Brian Elliott has his hand raised. We need to get on with business sooner than later. Mr. Elliott, go right ahead.
I believe strongly that Mr. Cowan's understanding of NDAs probably exceeds the collective wisdom of the rest of us, and I would acknowledge and accept his personal and professional view on his unwillingness to sign. I respect that position. That having been said, if our rules are such that he cannot attend this meeting, I believe we do ourselves a great disservice if we do not figure out a way to seek his counsel and input and what he has to say, because he certainly has had situation. So I urge us to figure out a way to hear what Mr. Cowan has to say, because I believe his experience in these areas is of great value and import for us to hear.
I think our secretary explained how someone could do that. Mr. Tunievich?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is the first time I'm seeing this document. It's pretty lengthy, and I too respect Mr. Cowan's views on this, especially when he says it's not enforceable. I do hear the statement that it's required for attendance. I think the easiest path, and I have a good faith interest in wanting to sign this, would love to have it looked at real quick, but it's certainly impossible to do that on this short notice. Nor was I think had all of us been aware that you were going to be asking for this tonight, we would have done our best to accomplish the either review, signing or not signing, and notifying of the chair. So I'm kind of in the Martin camp at this point, given his greater expertise. Thank you.
I'd like to clarify, it isn't, it's not required to attend a meeting. It's actually a requirement to be on the LNC. It's a policy manual requirement. It's just that nobody's ever raised the issue. I'm not the type of person to raise this issue just to raise it. I don't believe the rules, we exist to serve the rules. The rules exist to serve us. But when it comes to legal matters, it becomes important. But this issue was raised on the LNC list. This is not an ambush, not for this meeting. I raised it on the LNC list about 2 months ago when I was asking everybody to sign an NDA that said our policy manual required it. So just with all due respect, I understand somebody might have missed that email. There's a lot of emails, but there was no ambush tonight. This is a requirement of our policy manual that everyone on the LNC should be familiar with the policy manual.
Okay, we need to have some conversations about NDAs later. I do not agree that things are unenforceable. We're not going to get into that kind of discussion at this point. It's not proper to have that legal argument here, and I know that no one said anything like that to jeopardize us, but I think that we need to kind of keep that sort of stuff in mind when we're going into executive session to discuss legal matters. Let's not start talking about what is and isn't legally enforceable or legal this or that outside of executive session, guys. Shoot me some emails afterwards. We're going to get it sorted out, but at this point we need to get down to business. So I think what we need to do is probably go ahead and let me take a look at the motion language I had. Mr. Tunievich is intending to get his over, so we're probably going to do the breakout session room. As soon as he shoots that into me, I'm going to pop him into the room. So he might have a little bit of a delay, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be excluded.
Madam Chair, am I understanding that we're in the process of moving into executive session at the moment?
We are just about to be, yes. I believe I need to make a motion first.
I object strongly.
Okay.
I believe that we need to take the opportunity to hear what Mr. Cowan has to say about the situation we are about to discuss. I believe he is certainly qualified and professional to know that he's in a public forum as he gives us the benefit of his wisdom, and I demand that he has the right to speak.
I think there's a certain way to go about that, Mr. Elliott, and it's probably to make a motion
Okay, I would like to make the motion to give the floor to Mr. Cowan to get his thoughts on the situation at hand.
Wait.
Mr. Elliott, what you would need to do is move to suspend the rules so that LNC members who have not signed the NDA
there we go.
would be able to attend the executive session.
Okay,
Perfect.
so my understanding was that he was not going to be allowed to attend the executive session, so I wanted to hear from him in the public session, so we at
Without
least
a-
had to hear from him.
You can do a suspension of the rules, though.
So in order to hear from him, rather than give him the opportunity to broadly outline his thoughts in a public forum, we're going to.
We're not
allow-
doing it. Yeah,
We're
we're not gonna
not-
do it in public. That's a breach of fiduciary
Okay,
duty.
so therefore the process would be, I would have to make a motion to suspend the rule that an executive session requires an NDA. And I don't know that I'm instantly ready to do that. If I could have 30 seconds to think through the implications of making that motion.
Sure.
There are certainly pluses and minuses. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the current state of law is on NDAs. I do know that they were being litigated across the board when I was involved, when I had to sign them for and later in my career. But I believe this is such a important situation for the board and for the organization as a whole that I move to suspend the rule and allow Mr. Cowan to attend our executive session.
And Mr. Tunyevich, or just Mr. Cowan?
I believe we need legal people with law degrees to hear from. So I would, but on the other hand, it would be unfair. But however, the executive session does not have a regional representation. Therefore, that's a different situation than Mr. Cowan. Well, Mr. Cowan's a regional as well, isn't he? Well, in that case, then I move to suspend the rule and allow an LNC member. And again, this is an important, potentially critical decision we have in front of us here. So I believe that all the LNC members deserve to hear what we have to say. If we're not
Okay. So that's been moved. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Okay, Ms. Harless, do you want to take a roll call vote?
Yes, and it would just be the executive committee.
Yep.
Voting on this. Sorry, let me.
Is it a majority of those present or a majority?
It's a 2/3 vote. Is Mr. Hagopian here yet?
Yes.
There
Okay,
you go.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. Mr. Bowen. I'm going in
Yes.
alphabetical order. I'm not trying to pick on you.
No, that's fine. I vote yes.
Mr. Elliott,
yes.
Mr. Hagopian,
Yes.
I will abstain. Madam Chair, your vote doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
I'm sorry, that isn't the right way to put it. Your vote will not make a difference.
Yeah,
The motion will
chair's
pass.
Chair's not voting. We're good.
Okay. Okay,
The
it's
motion
three
passes.
yeses, 2 abstentions.
Okay, fantastic. Motion passes. Okay. At this point, I am going to move that we go into executive session. Do we see the original language of the motion I made?
Okay, well, and I had added something as well.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing my screen for a second because I'm not sure what's in my email box that might not need to be publicly
We're almost there,
transmitted.
guys. We're almost there, guys. So sorry for the delay. Thanks, Mark.
Okay. Your original motion was motion to spend up to $10,000 to retain an attorney to assist in legal matters in Michigan, New Mexico, and Massachusetts. And I had added so that was the motion you gave notice of.
Okay,
And I gave notice that said I would like to add, authorize the chair to file a trademark claim regarding Michigan with an entity to be specified in executive session.
okay. So I'll move all of that.
So you're moving
Uh,
to go into executive session.
Into executive session with the LNC per Brian Elliott's motion, and also with our executive director, Lainey Houston, who has signed an NDA, multiple NDAs, signed them all over the place. Okay.
I would second that motion. A second's not needed on a small committee, but I would second it.
Thank you very much. Any objections to going into executive session? Once, going twice. Okay, if there's no objection, we're going to go into executive session. Madam Secretary, do you mind if we hop in to a breakout room and leave everybody else, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do, but Mr. Nana had his hand raised. I don't know if you saw it.
Dustin?
Yes, it's just a quick procedural question. I guess I was mistaken, but I didn't realize that the executive committee could suspend the policy manual. I mean, I guess maybe I was just mistaken. It seems like kind of a interesting loophole, I guess. Not that I have a problem with doing it here and why we did it. I just found that to be interesting that was possible.
That sounds like a chat for our secretary or Jonathan Jacobs. So maybe he can give a Q&A on that while we're in executive session.
And I could tell you, Mr. Nana, I don't know.
I don't, my initial thoughts are that they can't. I would think it would take the full board, but I'm not going to fight it.
I think it's before all committees are under the policy manual. They can't create their own rules, but they can suspend rules for their own meetings. So therefore, I do believe the executive committee can suspend a rule for its own meeting.
All right, I think this is a very interesting discussion and probably worthwhile for us to get a definitive answer on, but as of now, it's already, we've been going at it for 30 minutes, so we need to hop in and handle business.
Mr. Bowen had it. Oh, he
Okay,
lowered his hand.
let's jump in. Let's dive in. Let's
Okay,
dig
I'm
in.
going to do the breakout rooms. Just give me one moment.
You got it.
Okay, I think all the LNC members were thrown in over there, so I will be going over there to join them. We'll be back. I'm going to stop recording. Pausing the
Oh,
Madam Chairman, before you start the meeting, the answer to the question, I think, is in the chat.
what?
oh, the chat's blank for me. Tragic. Okay. Do we have everybody back? Okay, there's one item left on the agenda.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
We need an executive committee member to make it, but Martin is correct.
I'll move to adjourn.
Fantastic.
Second.
All right, any objections? Going once, going twice. All right, we are adjourned at 10:55 PM Eastern Time.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See you all this weekend.
Whoever did ask the question, we did come up with about the suspension of the rules. We do have an answer. I'm going to copy it in chat if somebody wants to email me.
I'll copy it in chat. I'm super interested. Let me stop the recording.